We all know statistics is evil, right? But in this video, I'm going to explain why we should actually treat it as being evil, because this gives us a framework with which to fit statistical models. So basically, we can use E.V.I.L as an acronym for different stages of analysis. Unfortunately, they don't go in the same order as E.V.I.L, which is a minor inconvenience. But anyway, let's roll with it. So the L in E.V.I.L stands for kind of load and look at your data. So the first thing you always do when you fit a statistical model is you load the data, you have a look at some descriptive statistics. The V in E.V.I.L stands for visualize data. So again, pretty much any time you fit a statistical model, you want to visualize the data or visualize the model residuals. There'll be some aspect that you want to visualize using a plot. Then right at the center of all of this, obviously you're fitting a statistical model, and the E and the I relate to that statistical model. So the E stands for evaluate the model. Any statistical model you fit ever, you want to evaluate whether it's a good fit of the data. You want to check the assumptions of that model. And if those assumptions are met, then you want to interpret the model. And if the assumptions are not met, then basically you want to fit a robust version of that model instead, and then go on and interpret it. So the I of E.V.I.L stands for interpret the model. So what do we mean by interpret? Well, we want to interpret the model parameter estimates. We want to interpret perhaps significance tests. We want to interpret confidence intervals of the parameter estimates. And often we want to use the model to make more focused predictions. So that's our process. So just to recap, we've got look and load the data, process the data, summarize variables, visualize the data or visualize the assumptions of the model, evaluate the model. Is it a good fit? Are the assumptions met? So should we even go on and interpret it? Because if we evaluate the model and it's no good, just stop, don't interpret it. Or mostly actually what we do is fit a robust version of it. And finally, if we're sort of fairly happy that the model's a decent fit of our data, then we would go and interpret the various parts of it. So, this gives us the acronym of E.V.I.L, but that's much nicer if we just reorganize it into E.V.I.L, even though that's not necessarily the order in which we'll do things. So E.V.I.L helps us to keep in check the things we need to do when we fit statistical models. Any statistical model, you will always do these things. Let's have a look at this in practice. In a couple of other tutorials, I've used some data from Spotify. Now, Spotify, for every track on Spotify, they have some metrics. So they have scores like the danceability, the energy levels, the loudness, things like that. And most of these variables are scores between 0 and 1, where, 1, say for danceability, 1 is like it's really danceable and 0 is it's not. So we've got some data that we've used in other tutorials, which relates to all of the tracks produced by my favorite band, Iron Maiden. And this is just to sort of show you essentially what the data looks like. There's lots more variables that sort of don't fit into this slide, but essentially every row of this is a song that Iron Maiden have written. And as we scroll down, we can see songs off different albums from different years. So let's say we had a hypothesis we wanted to test. So one of the things in the data is the length of the song. And let's say I have a theory that their songs have got longer over time. So we just want to look for a sort of simple relationship between time since the band were formed and how long the song is. Have the songs got longer as the band have kind of got older? So we've got our kind of key hypothesis is that their songs have got longer over time. Our null hypothesis is that the length of their songs hasn't changed at all over time. So that's what we're trying to test. So we're going to fit a model where our outcome is the length of the song duration, and we're predicting it from the number of years since their first album. So step 1, load and look. We would load our data into whatever statistical package we're using. And the look is we would look at some descriptive statistics. So this table illustrates the looking at the variables. So we can see, for example, that in terms of the age of the band since it formed, that ranges from 0 to 41, 0 because it's the time since their first album. The lowest score is 0, and the most recent album in the data was 41 years after they were formed. And for song duration, we can see that the range of the song durations are, these are in seconds, by the way. About 105 seconds is the shortest song, and whopping 1081 is the longest song. And on average, an Iron Maiden song is 369 seconds long. So that's our load and look. In terms of visualizing what our model is going to look at, we're looking at the relationship between time and song duration, or band age. See what I did there? And yeah, so we might visualize it like this. So this shows us, for example, the distribution. So song duration, the distribution is quite heavily skewed. They've got some really, really, really long songs, but which sort of skews that distribution. And for band age, it's a very lopsided distribution. I guess, for obvious reasons, because we're just sort of tracking stuff over time. And, at different years, they were slightly more prolific than other years. We can also see a scatter plot. The key thing here, I guess, is the scatter plot between song duration and band age, which does look, it's very messy, but essentially it does look like there's kind of a vaguely upward kind of pattern here. So you could imagine sort of drawing a line maybe loosely like that. So it does look like maybe song duration increases over time. So, but we're just getting a feel for what our data, what our variables look like. We'd evaluate our model. So we fit the model behind the scenes, then we evaluate it. So these are all plots of our assumptions. So what is this? We could see some of the distributions of the raw variables were quite squiffy, although it's not super clear because these plots have been compressed a bit. We can, for example, see the residuals of the model are deviating from normal, which, is what you might expect from those previous plots. We might evaluate the fit of the model with something like an R-square statistic, maybe. So we can see here that our model counts for about 23% of the variability in song duration. So that does suggest a relationship between song duration and time since a band was formed. And if we're happy with that model, in this case, we're possibly not, given our residual plots, we might want to fit a robust version of it. We would then go on and interpret the sort of key parts of the model. For example, this value, this is telling us how much song duration increases for every year that the band sort of ages, if you like. So, for every year the band ages, songs increase at a rate of about 5 seconds, something like that. We might want to have a look at the confidence interval around that value. We might want to see, is that value significantly different from 0? Interpretation, topic of another video. We'll go into more detail elsewhere, but essentially that's your process of E.V.I.L.